Okay, so this is a 2-pound bottle. Just feel lucky that you didn't have all 3 of them at the same time. If this was a 3-hour course, it would probably be all 3 of them at once. Okay, a lot of force. Okay, to get that clay to go up. Okay, push down and pull back. You can see I'm really bending that thing forward. So I'm keeping my hands fairly relaxed. You can see I'm changing the angle of my hand as I go up. I'm not keeping it exactly the same the whole time. The more you bend the cone as you push it down, the less likely it's going to do the hula hoop. Okay. Drop the hole, keeping it again fairly compact. This is gonna be just like a regular bottle form. It's not gonna be like a jug. If I wanted to make a jug, I'd probably have a lot wider base on it. And then really kind of bring that clay up and in. So just compressing the floor. I can feel that I have a little extra clay down there. I really don't like trimming tall things. I'll show you how to do it if I need to, but it's much easier to not have to trim tall things, in my opinion. Because centering something that's really tall and heavy, it kind of, or bottom heavy, it kind of wants to just fall over. And I'm going to center this top part with the bottle. This is really important because you want this to be even as you pull it up. If you don't have this even, it's going to be really hard to make a bottle. Okay, I'm going to pull this up. With the pitcher, I left a lot of clay at the top. With this one, I'm tapering up so that it's all nice and even all the way through here. It's about 1/4 inch thick. Not too much more, not too much less, okay? Just paying attention to making the clay really even and consistent through there. Make your groove. Okay, clay up, one more groove. Okay, I'm trying to make a skinny bottle. Skinny-ish bottle. When I get to the top, on that first pull, I pulled that clay to about the thickness it needed to be. On the second and third pull, I'm still pulling through that clay. I'm moving my hands through that clay, but I'm really not doing anything to change the thickness of the clay. Does that make sense? I'm backing off the pressure from my inside hand. So your inside hand controls the thickness, right? So I'm backing off the pressure on my inside hand and allowing that outside hand to move the clay up and in, okay? So technically this could be a vase. I think this is about 6 inches, so we're a little over 6 inches now. It's 2 pounds. Get rid of some of this excess clay down here. Oops. Compress. Okay, so I am only going to compress what I want to shape right now. I'm going to leave this top part about third of the clay uncompressed because I'm going to bring that up into a neck. If I compress it, it's okay if you do compress it. If you forget and you compress it, that's fine. I'm going to start shaping a little too. It's just a little easier to neck it in if it's uncompressed. Sorry, I'm concentrating on my form here. Kind of like some people, like when they're driving and they're talking, they're thinking about talking and not driving. When I'm driving and talking, I'm totally not thinking about talking. I'm just like focused on the road. So that was me, like it's like driving and talking. I can't throw and talk really and think if I'm really concentrating on something. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of bring this in just a little bit. I'm just gonna grabbing around it like this, and I'm using my index fingers to kind of guide the clay up and in. You can do the whole neck like this. I have a better way though. Well, I think it's a better way. Got it by watching, I'm pretty sure it was a Japanese potter or something like that online. One of those YouTube holes that you get into watching pottery videos. Okay, Japanese potters are, like Asian potters are super fun to watch. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a field goal or a U, just like this, okay? Or you want an L and an L in the mirror kind of thing with your thumb, your index finger, and then you turn it like this. So you have your index, the back of your middle, and your thumb. They're all going to be spaced out evenly on the clay, okay? So these two fingers are the same distance as these two fingers as your thumbs, okay? Perfectly spaced out. I'm gonna follow the curve up, okay? So this has a curve that has this kind of momentum that kind of goes up like this. I'm gonna follow that momentum up until my fingers almost touch each other, and then I'm gonna turn my fingers and go up. What you don't wanna do is you don't wanna squeeze it straight in. If you squeeze it straight in, you'll create a cantilever and it'll just kind of fall in on itself. So you wanna create that curve as you go. And then I'm gonna turn my hands and then I'm gonna lift up. The surface right here on both fingers is going to take that clay and it's going to go just up like that. You have to be kind of aggressive with it. If you want to do it the other way where you're just kind of like squeezing it in and pulling it a little bit, that's fine too. But I find this to be extremely satisfying when you do it right. Okay, so I'm going to follow the curve, I'm going to squeeze, and then I'm going to turn my hands and I'm going to pull it. Can't talk while I'm doing this. Okay. You have to be kind of aggressive with the clay when you do that. Okay, now, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm actually using my pinky to do the pull because I want to re-thin this clay out. Got a little uneven, so I'm going to cut that uneven spot out. Compress the rim. It's easier to compress the rim and make it nice now before you have a really drastic shoulder. Now technically that's a bottle. I'm not entirely satisfied with the shape of bottle. I feel like it's a little unfinished. So I'm going to do it one more time. Okay. Put my face over the clay. One thing I forgot to mention. This is very important. I did it sort of subconsciously. I got the water out of the bottom. You need to get the water out of the bottom before you make a bottle, or else you'll never get the water out of the bottom, okay? And your bottom will crack. Okay, here goes. I'm gonna stop there, okay? I'm gonna pull it just a little bit. Kind of bring that rim out just a little bit. Take care of the rim here. Let's compress it a little bit. So if you want to be able to use it as a bottle, you want to make sure that you can get liquid in and out of it. So I would say like at least the width of your finger. You know, if it's too small, it's like this big, which people make more of a decorative bottle. But if the hole is like smaller than that, you won't be able to get anything in or out of it. Okay, I'm just gonna do the shoulder here. So this is kind of looking like a Tang Dynasty thing, so I'll make it look a little bit more like a Tang Dynasty thing. Kind of leaving some exaggerated throw marks on there. This is kind of almost like the opposite of what I did with the pitcher. There. Ding Dynasty bottle. Oh yeah, I forgot to do the flip. I really like making bottles and pitchers. They're kind of fun. Like those little extra details, like the spout and the bottleneck, that add a lot to the character of the form. Just kind of fun. You can play around with proportions. Like you could have a really long neck, or a really wide thing with a really short neck, or a really wide thing with a really long neck. A lot of options. It's gonna give it a little softness. Alright, there we go. Here's the bottle. And cut.